diasporas struggle, their extended families suffer. When your families, when your friends, when your relations that live in diaspora struggle with their finances, when they struggle with their income, they struggle sending you money, when they struggle on a daily basis. Those of you that lives in the hometown, maybe live in the countries where you live, that depends on those people that live in diaspora. So far, that's what we're discussing. I'm going to discuss this evening. Welcome to Wano. Good evening. Welcome back. As many people in the diaspora are struggling these days due to some factors like the war between Russia and Ukraine, which affected the energy sectors and the prices of crude oil, especially those countries that depend on the oil supply from Russia. The conflict has affected has affected the prices of goods and services. Even some of the prices have increased. And also, it has also affected the pocket of many in diaspora. What I mean by pocket, it has affected their finances. It has affected some of their incomes. Understand? So, mind you that many families in Africa depend on their extended families in diaspora. And those kind of people, how will they cope during this period? Those kind of your relations, your extended families that depend on you that lives in diaspora. Have you thought about how they will cope? Understand when you are struggling with your finances, you are struggling at the moment to pay your bills, you're struggling at the moment even to put diesel, petrol in your car. You're struggling to end livelihood. You're struggling to feed your kids. You're struggling to feed your family. How would they cope? How would they cope? That's what we're discussing this evening. Understand? So if you can permit me to use Nigeria as an example, do you know how much people in diaspora remit to their respective countries every year? How much they remit? Do you know how much they send home? Do you know how much they send to Nigeria every year? Every year. Do you know? In 2021, Nigerian diasporas alone remitted over $9 billion to Nigeria. They remitted over $9 billion to Nigeria in 2001. Nigerian diasporas alone remitted over $9 billion to Nigeria. These are the money they send to their family and extended families. They send this money to them. And through the money they send to their families and extended families, Nigeria did what? They benefited from it. You may ask how. If you're in diaspora, let's assume you are in Nigeria living in the United States, and you still have some of your family members in Nigeria, and you send them money regularly, or you send them money sometimes for their upkeep. What do you think they use the money for? Some of them, they can use the money for hospital bills, school fees. They can use the money to build new homes. They can use the money for their feeding, for their upkeep. Understand? They use the money for so many things, transportation. Understand? They use those money for that. And when they use money, they put the money back into Nigerian economy. Understand? When they put this money back to Nigerian economy, what happens? Nigerian economy booms from that. They benefit from that. Understand? Nigeria gains from that. Things. Paying What I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to discuss this evening is that most times you see people, they try to do some videos, they try to, you know, even in TikTok, some of them they criticize family members back home in Nigeria. They say a lot of things about their family members because they send in the money for upkeep. They sending the money to even, you understand. So they say a lot of things about that. They say a lot of bad things about the families. They say that they keep sending money that they most of them they don't need those kind of money. They don't need money. Some of them that they are lazy. They don't know what they can do something for themselves instead of depending on their brothers and sisters that are in diaspora. In 2019 and 20, when COVID-19 pandemic was at its peak, during that period, many countries were in lockdown. Many countries, they were in lockdown. Many developed countries supported their citizens through their social welfare. They gave them money for food, for bills. Those that can work from home, they work from home, and government supported them one way or the other. Countries in developing countries like Nigeria, they didn't have that. They don't have that kind of structure. They don't have that kind of support. So when during that period, some individuals try as well. They tried their best to do what to support some of the families that in lockdown they weren't going to work and all that. Having in mind that most of an average Nigerian, most of them they depend on buying and selling for their livelihood. They buy goods, they sell the market. So during the lockdown, there was no way for them to do that. You understand what I mean? So because of that, many of them suffered during that period because they depended on that buying and selling. Understand me? So why did the diasporas come in during that period, 2019, 2019, 2020? What did they do? That's when they send money. They send money back home. A lot of them send the money. They send money back home. You know, they send a lot of money. How much? Have you even thought about that? How much they send? You know, in 2019, the diasporas repeated more than they send in more money to support their family. They sent home $23 billion 2019. And in 2020, they sent in $17 billion. That's a lot of money coming from diasporas. A lot of money coming from people abroad. They sent to Nigeria. How do they send that money to? They send to their family members. They send to their relatives. And those relatives, they use that money, that period, to support themselves. Let's assume that they didn't, maybe there was nothing like that. There was no avenue for them to send those money. What do you think could have happened? Nigeria would have lost a lot of people through hunger, hardship. Like I said, a lot of people, a lot of families, they dependent people, their family members abroad in diaspora. You understand what I mean? So the bottom line, what we discussed in this evening is like yesterday we discussed about recession. Why? Because many people are struggling now because of the war going in Russia. I don't know if it's affected you or not. You getting me? You know, so we that are in the UK, we are feeling the pain. We are feeling it a bit. We are feeling it. You know, what I'm trying to say is that when Nigeria's diaspora struggle, when you struggle in diaspora, the people, your family members, they will feel it. And when you're facing hardship due to one thing or the other, maybe from the factors, like I said, war in Ukraine, maybe Brexit in United Kingdom, unemployment, and so on. When you struggle, your extended families back in Nigeria suffer. Even Nigeria economy suffer as well. You understand? So the number is open. I would like you to, if you have, can contribute to the program. How you might be asking now, what is the phone in question or something? Why is it that many people, even those in diaspora, at the moment, how can they cope if the people in diaspora they're struggling to and they're struggling to pay their bills, they're struggling to put petrol in their car, they're struggling to put diesel in their car, they're struggling their electricity bills, they're struggling to not keep money together to send it. How will those in Africa, especially in Nigeria, how would they survive? How would they survive? I mean, the families, the extended families are dependent on them. How would they? Well, how will it impact on them? How will it affect them? You understand? What would be the impact of that struggle? What will be the impact of what is happening here in the Western world? You know, I would like you to call me. Let me know what are the ways they can adjust. What are the ways they can cope with that? You know, because if the fears of the economies are visible and the recession hit the UK, for example, and inflation rising up to 10%, which means that you will have to fork out an extra 10 pence on a £1 product if you're going to buy a product of £1 because of that 10% increase inflation. What happens is going to be £1 10 pence, and that 10% not easy. Calculate that, it will affect a lot of things as it is now, because even the energy bill at the moment is going up to 50% increase. You understand? So when they're struggling to do that, many families in the United Kingdom at the moment would be noticing extra charges on their bills when after they're spending, when they go for grocery shops and everything, when they check their receipt, they notice that a lot of things they used to buy before have increased enormously. You understand? Things are getting expensive. Like I said, electricity, gas, petrol, groceries, everything. Even those that depend on African food, it's getting expensive. You know, all of these things have increased so much that some people are calling on the government to do something. They're calling on the UK government to do something about it. You know, and that is what is happening. And they're debating on that every day. If you listen to the news, they're debating on in which way would they help so that citizens over here will adjust. They will not go hungry. You understand? The same thing, families are trying to adjust. They are trying to do what? Find ways that they can do what support themselves as well. Something like that. Skipping meals just to make sure that they, their kids have something to eat. Understand what I'm saying? So how will it affect those in back home? How will it affect their family members in Nigeria? How will it affect their family members maybe somewhere in Africa? Anyway, those that depended on you that are in diaspora. How will it affect them? In what way will just in order for you not to feel the pain more, having in mind that there are people over there that are depending on you, having in mind that people over there that are looking up to you for their livelihood, they are looking up to you to live. looking up to you for their school fees, looking up to you for their hospital bills, looking up to you for their house. You call it the rent or something like that. Some some of them, their children going to school, they're looking up to you, they call you to help them to pay the school fees and all that. And when you're struggling, in what way will it affect? Have you have you thought about that? You understand? So when some people, when they're saying a lot of all sorts of things about those in Africa, those in Nigeria especially, they're calling, disturbing, calling for money. Every time they call you just for money and everything. You understand? What? In what ways can you like let them know that you that is here, it's not that easy for you? In what way can you convince them and let them know that things are getting a little bit difficult? Understand? The line is, and I would like you to, if you can call me, let me know your thoughts, your ideas on ways we can go on about this. So, like I said, welcome to Wano. If it's the first time you're coming across Wano, I would like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe to this YouTube channel, one on YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook, one on Facebook. And we also on Twitter, one on underscore on Twitter. Understand? When diasporas struggle, their extended families struggle. They struggle a lot. They're struggling a lot. Like I said, during the pandemic, here in the West, they have a structure. They have a structure that they used during that period. What was the structure? If you, because of the lockdown, the government already have put in place those are those that cannot go to work because of the pandemic. Government gave them, they were paying there's now avenue for them to pay their bills and everything. That was a structure in place because of the social welfare that is here. And many people depended on that. If you can work from home, you work from home. You work from there, you still get what you want to get. You still eat. But those in Africa, most of them don't have that structure. So they depended on individuals. They depended on people, especially those in diaspora, for them to like help them out. And during that period, a lot of people in diaspora, they send a lot of money to their family members. And which of them that I already called out for you here, 2020, 2019, they sent almost, that was 2019, they sent $23 billion, and 2020 $17 billion. That's a lot of money they sent to Nigeria for their upkeep. Understand? Because of that, they don't have that structure. So what I'm putting, what I'm just like trying to focus on is, what if those people in diaspora, those that found extended families that are in diaspora, they're struggling. They cannot pay their bills. They cannot, sustain themselves. They cannot even, you know, what I'm saying. If they're struggling to stay afloat, then what about those in Nigeria, those in Africa, how would they cope? How will they cope? Those that depend on them. Because I know many people that every month, even they have few people that they send money to. There's some of them that universities, they are sponsoring the people in the university. They're doing a lot of things. They have a lot of projects they're working on. They keep sending money and all those kind of things. They're doing that. And most of their family members, they depended on them. So when they can do that, what do you think? How would they survive? I already said in Africa, Nigeria, especially, if you go to university, or come out of university, the next thing is for you to get a job. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you can get a job immediately you come out from university. Some people can stay 4 or 5 years before they get one. Some, on the process of waiting for jobs, what they'll do, they will look for it, they will learn a trade. They start their own business and all that. And many of them as well, they don't have jobs, as they don't have any job and there's no income coming in. What if they have someone abroad? They will depend on those ones. And most of them, brothers or sisters abroad, they send in money in order for them to eat and all that. Understand? And that's the process of that. That's where the money comes from. A lot of money they send every year. A lot of money they send every month to Nigeria. Understand? And the Nigeria don't have that support system like other developed countries. Understand what I mean? So you that are in the diaspora, you that are in the Western world, I don't know where the country you are, you are working so hard. You're working to feed family. You're working to pay your car finance. You're working to pay your mortgage. You're working to pay your bills and everything. Understand? At the end of the month as well, you still have an extra money to send to your family members back home. And now things are changing a bit. And like we discussed yesterday that many people, it's difficult for them to change lifestyle, difficult for them to change their habit, something like that. So most of them over there, they know you already, and they already have a lifestyle that they live. And now you're calling and telling them that things are changing bit by bit. It's not more it was that you're struggling a bit. In what way would they understand that? How will you explain to them that this moment is not the way it used to? Things are changing. Things are changing rapidly. They're struggling. The recession is looming. And when the recession is come here around here, that is gonna affect you and you're struggling a bit. And once it's gonna be that way, it's gonna affect them as well. You understand? So in what way can you cope? We discussed that yesterday. You need to do what? You cut your spending cost. You cut it about how you're spending, the way you spend before and all that. You have to curtail that. Think about if you can start saving a bit. Think about if you can do something extra, like overtime or something, which I know is difficult, especially if you have children. You understand? Things are getting difficult at the moment. It's getting difficult. Like I asked, I don't know if it has affected you yet, but it's still gonna get in there because the way things are going, even if you listen to the news, you understand that the war in Ukraine is not stopping till tomorrow because they are making other move. Other countries are trying to join NATO, and because of that, it will escalate more and more. Understand? And the cost of gas, electricity, cost of crude oil, everything is going to still go higher. And once those they're going higher and higher, it will affect the production, it will affect the goods and services, everything. That food stuff, groceries, everything, it's really going to go. They will increase the prices more and more. Increase the prices more and more. And the same thing will still happen there in Africa. They will increase the petrol. they will increase everything as well. You understand? That means your spend gonna be up. You spend more. You spend more to live where you are. You still spend more to send money back home because they will need it more. They will need it more. You know. The line is open, or you can put on a comment section. What do you think? How will you cope? How will you let your family members, extended family members, let them know that things are not getting better the way it used to be, things are not good the way it used to be, that you are struggling? Is there any way you can let them understand that? In what way can you let them understand that? In what way can you tell them? Because sometimes sometimes they don't understand that. They don't understand when you tell them that things are getting difficult, you know, because when you check the exchange rate, when you check the money that you get here, if you change it, that's a lot of money over there. But when things are getting harder and when things are getting difficult over here, it's not the same. You change strategies, you change where you spend things, you change where you do a lot of things. Understand? And how would they understand that you're struggling? In what way can you let them know? In what way can you tell them that you're struggling? Will they even understand that? Will they even notice? Or are you the kind of person maybe while you're struggling and everything, you still like try to cover it up? Time being open, honest, to let them know that things are getting difficult, that you just understand, you know? So that's what we're discussing. Understand? I don't know what you think. I don't know what you think. Like we discussed yesterday, it's time for families to cut cost. It's time for families to look into their spending structure. It's time for families to the way they used to, the way they used to. What I mean the way they used to live before, the way they go out, the way they used to spend money. It's time for them to start planning aside, start saving. You start saving because in the coming months, it's not gonna be easy. Because to be honest with you, according to the economy, they said, especially those in UK, they are expecting recession by end of the year. The way the economy is going, inflation is going. If you get to 10% inflation, it's gonna fail a lot. It has not even get to that. Many people are feeling it. I know you feel it because if you're driving, if you go to the petrol station, you go in there to fill your tank, you will understand what I'm talking about. Once you put it in there to fill the tank and you come out, you feel it. You go to the shops, grocery store, buy stuff. With the little money you get in there, come out. You understand as well. You feel it. When your bills come at the end of the month, you for you to pay your electricity and gas, to pay water rate, everything has gone up. Some landlords already have put some money on top of their rent and all that. So, and all this are happening, your wages and everything is still the same way it used to be. I don't understand. So how will you cope with that? On top of it, you're still gonna have some money extra that you have to send to your family members back home. That's what we're discussing. That's what I'm talking about. Understand? So that means your spending is getting bigger. Your spending is getting higher and higher. While your income It's not coping with that. So, in what ways can you cope? In what ways can you adjust? In what can you like think about that and let your family members know that it's not the same way it used to? Can you give us a bit of time? Will they understand that you're struggling? Will they understand when it's time for your niece to go to school? When it's time for them to go to school, and they're calling you over the phone for you to send money for their school fees and all that, you are struggling to get a little bit money, and you know that the child needs to go to school. What are you gonna do? What in what ways? What are you gonna do? You understand? That's what we're discussing. That's what I'm trying to like let this evening. How can you relate to them? How can you let people know? How can you let your family, extended families know that when you are struggling over here, understand that it's gonna affect them as well? How will you explain it to them? How can you let them know that they need to adjust as well in the way they spend their money? They need to adjust in the way that they eat things, the way they live their life and the lifestyle and all that. How will you understand? How will you explain to them that? You think they will understand what you're saying? In what way you explain that to them? You that is here that is trying to live that is here that is trying to live up to your expectation. You're trying, stay. How can you adjust? How can you adjust? Understand, because when you struggle with finances, when you struggle with your they will suffer. They will suffer because it's not only here that recession is affecting. It's not only here that inflation is affecting people. Them that are there, they've been inflation for a long time. Most of them don't even understand what is inflation anymore. It's something that they've been on their doorstep from day one. Understand? Things are expensive. A lot of things are expensive. And having in mind that most of them, they don't have source of income the way those that are in the Western world have. If you lose your job, today, you're not gonna worry how you're gonna pay your bills, because all you have to do is do what? You tap in from the social welfare structure that is already in place. You tapping in there. You still living the way you live. The only thing is gonna be your lifestyle going to change a little bit. That is it. With time, you still get another job again. But them that are there, they are not. It's not that easy for them to do that. It's not. Even some of them that already have jobs, you will know your level before you get the kind of job that you're looking at. That kind of job that you can earn up to 200,000, 150,000. It's not out there. It's not much. Understand? So some of them depending on you over here. So when they call over the phone, when they try to like talk to you or let you know easy, can you do this? Can you do that? Just have to bear with them. Bear. I know that is hard, right? You are struggling. You are, it's getting difficult. Bear with them. But the problem is that how will you explain? How will you let them know that you are struggling for them to understand that you're struggling? I don't know if I'm communicating. That is it. How will they know that? How will you explain to them that you're struggling for them to understand that that you're struggling? You, when, if you, when you're sick, if you're ill, you got belly ache, whatever it is, you can just go to the hospital with that, no stress. That is it. But they cannot do that. They cannot. When they call on this person in the hospital, what they're calling for, that's money. They need money, and they need it. I just want you to understand the difference, how things are working in different places you are. Understand? I'm using United Kingdom as a case study. I'm using here as an example because this is where I'm just using it. If I'm ill now, I'll go to the hospital because it's already in my national insurance number. It's there. I've been paying for the tax and everything. What happens? I'll go treated. Understand? But you want it, if your family member that is in Nigeria or something that is ill, it's not there. It's not like that. They will have to, if they don't have the money, they have to find money to buy a card first for them to register before they get admitted in the hospital, even before those or whoever can look at the person first. So that means they need money all the time. It's money. They need money. Understand? So when you that is here, when you are struggling, when the inflation is affecting you, when if you go to work, you earn your money at the end of the month, or you earn your money at the end of the week, depending on how you get your pay. Then you bring the money home. You pay your bills. You pay your car finance. You pay your rent. You pay everything. You buy food. If you have children, the kids are gonna eat and everything. You look at your reserve, the money, little money that you have with you. Understand? Then, and you receive a call that they need money. How will you cope? In what way can you adjust? In what way can you let them know that things are getting difficult? And how will you try to find a way, you know, to maneuver yourself from that situation? Understand? Because if you don't have any savings, if you don't have any money set aside in case of any eventualities, like what we're just saying now, definitely your people will suffer. They will. Those that depend on you in Africa, they will suffer. They will suffer. Definitely. Understand? You know, so that's what we're discussing this evening. I like yesterday evening we discussed, like I said, we discussed on recession. And the recession is looming. You understand? If you're not feeling it, soon you're gonna feel it. Understand, man, no matter what kind of job you do, no matter how you hustle, no matter how you do, understand you're on street, you're working in construction, you're working anywhere, you're still working. Understand? You're feeling it because the same amount of money you're earning is still the same amount of money. Unless you're doing extra time, you're doing extra work, or you have third job, depends on how in the other way you're making more money. No matter how it is, still feel it. Because the more money you make, the same more money that you have to pay, the cost of living, the same more money you have to pay to service your debt, the same more money you have to pay to keep your lifestyle. Then you put on top of it people that depend on you in Africa. Understand? You know, so what we're discussing this evening is when diasporas, people that are in diaspora, when they struggle, their extended families, they suffer a lot. They suffer a lot. Again, and we pointed out yesterday ways that you can adjust. There are a few ways you can adjust. Understand, if you are the kind of person that when you finish work every evening, you go out with your friends, you have some drinks, you spend money eating and all that. That's an extra money. If you save those kind of money, if you save that money after that, if you just go home and eat at home, instead of spending money out there buying drinks and all that, just for this time, it's not gonna be a long time. It's just for a while. You save that kind of, you save the money. It will go a long way. Understand? And if you're the kind of person that you you always buy new clothes all the time, you're buying a lot of new shoes and everything, why not use the opportunity to try and see if you can use your old clothes, the ones you got before, use your old shoes. Once you go, try and manage it just for a while until things come back to normal. Understand? So if you maybe, for example, we pointed out that if you're a lady, that you try to do your hair every week during this recession period, during this period that things are getting difficult, why can't you do it maybe once in 3 weeks? If you maybe once a month and make it look good just for a while. When things to normal, you continue doing what you're doing. You understand? Because the more you struggle, those that depends on you will suffer. You understand? So you try to find a way to adjust your spending. You try to find a way to live. You're trying to find a way to make extra cash by doing extra work or looking for something you can do aside, to make money. Understand me? You know, because like I said, people are feeling the heat and they are calling the government for help. They're calling on the government to do something, to inject money in the economy, to do something just to find a way so that things can turn around. You get me? Because the basic things that they need, water, electricity, those things are getting expensive. And once they are getting more expensive, a lot of people gonna get affected. If you cannot heat your home, if you cannot buy electricity to heat your home, it's gonna affect a lot of people. A lot of, even especially those that are ill, the elderly people, children, they will be affected a lot. You understand what I mean? So that is the reason why they're calling on the government to help out. The reason why they're calling on the government to find ways to support individuals, to support some people that are suffering. You understand? And why you that are here, if you struggle and if you suffer like that, what about those that depend on you in Africa? How do you think that they're going to survive? Because the same thing that is happening here is happening over there because cost of things are getting expensive. Things are getting higher. It's getting expensive over there as well. Like I said, employment is not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. Many of them they don't have jobs. Many of them are not in employment. Even those that are in there, few of them survive on the money they're earning every month. So they're using the money they used for supplement to survive. They keep going. They keep going. That is it. So when you're mourning on like you try to complain, which I know is sometimes hard. Just have in mind, bear in mind yourself. If me that is here, if I can complain that I'm struggling, if I can say that yes, things are not going the way it's supposed to be. What about those that are in Africa, those that depend on me? What about those people that depends on you? How would they survive if you are here, you have everything in place for you? If you are struggling to keep up, what about them? What about them? If you have in mind, if you position your mindset in that way, you see that you find a way to adjust. You see that you find a way to make money, even if it's to do extra work, even if it's for you to do overtime, even if it's just find some way to get more money and keep it aside instead of just like wasting it just like that. People out there that are depending on you, hoping on you to send them money instead of complaining or just calling them names and all that. Understand? Just putting that in your mind. Say to yourself, this. At the end of the day, you have electricity. You can live, watch your TV, do everything. Some of them don't have it. Generator or put fuel in their generator. That's a lot of money. They spend more. Do you understand what I mean? Food is expensive the same way. You understand what I'm saying? The same thing happening. So have the same mindset. If that, yes, it's hard, it's getting difficult. That is there. Nobody gonna doubt that. It's getting difficult. But if it's hard for you, if you are struggling to make ends meet, if you are struggling, put food on your table, what about people? What about those people that depends on you in Africa? What do you think? How do you think they're gonna cope? How do you think that they will live? How do you think they will live? It's not the same. It's not the same. You know, if you live, if you grow in Africa, if you grow, I'm just I'm using Nigeria like I said to you as an example. If you grow in Nigeria, understand there are some classes, we just call it. Me, I know just two classes: the rich and poor. There's nothing. No one is in the middle. It's just the rich and the poor. You're not up here. You're there. You understand? And the difference is so large like that. You know, can you imagine that some people 4 years, 2 years, they've never had any checkup. They cannot go to the hospital for checkup because of money. They don't have it. They don't know what is happening to them in their body. There's nothing like that. They don't know about that. The only time you see them going to the hospital is maybe when it's get worse. They have to be admitted to the hospital because there's no money there. They're trying their best to put money together just to get afloat, to eat, to live on a daily basis. You understand? So, but you that is in the Western world, depending on the country you are, understand, you have access to that. It's part of the taxes that you pay. You have access to that. So with that mindset, understand, believe, and just know that yes, when you struggle this way, when you're struggling here, those that depend on you, all of them, they're going to suffer. They will suffer. You understand? Does it mean that you send money every time? The little ones you say you can do to support, you do it. You try to do that. You get me? The same way the government, they put in structures here to support everyone. The same way. Just have in mind that you are the government. You're supporting, you have other people as well you're supporting. Understand? So you have to manage your finances, manage how you spend your money, manage how you eat out. Those extra pizzas, those extra Chinese, those extra takeaway, extra clothes that you don't need. All those things you just try to minimize and try to find a way to adjust how you spend your money. Understand? Try to adjust, because when you lose it, you have that safety net, and that safety net, welfare, social welfare, which you can fall on, and you live on that. But your family members don't have it. Don't have it. They don't have social welfare. Nigerians don't have social welfare. They don't. So they lose their own money. When they lose their job, nothing. Nobody gonna give them no money until they get a new one. And through that period, they will eat. Through that period, if they have kids, their kids will eat. Through that period, if their kids are sick, they will take them to hospital, or they will have to buy drugs. All of that is money. They don't understand. So how will you adjust on that? If you have that in mind, just believe in it. Understand what I mean? Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Is it Sir Johnson? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sir Johnson, yeah?
Yeah, Johnson.
You're welcome, Johnson. Good evening.
Evening. So, based on the topic at hand, the topic is very interesting, but it's somehow technical. Because do you know that some diasporas, most of the people or the parents in Africa, but let me use Nigeria because I'm calling from Nigeria, right?
Okay.
So you know some guys over there, those diasporas, you know, their family, some of the families they sold land to send them abroad. Some of them borrowed, do one thing or the other, hoping that you know that place is a greener pasture due to the exchange or the dollar equivalent or everything, right? But when they go there now, due to the recession or inflation in the world, you know, when they stop sending things home, it's a dire issue. Understand?
Okay.
But what it's a dire because they believe those people at home believe those diasporas there. They are, they are their source of income. You know, most of them are the breadwinner. You know, when the breadwinner is bringing things, the whole thing is gone.
Yeah.
The whole family will be in shambles.
Okay.
So it's going to be critical if such a thing happen. And you know that those diaspora they're complaining due to bills, utility bills, no job, nothing. You know, like I was discussing with a friend, say you get the money there, right? But the bills will take away all the money. The bills there will take away all the money. So what will left is peanut. So and people at home will be hoping, believing that you will bring in something. So my only two solution to those diaspora there, what they need to do now, the recession, you know, the dollar is the exchange rate is keep increasing.
Okay.
What they need to do now is just to come down and invest. Like I say, investment. When you talk about the recession, what you need to the person need to cut down his expenses. Then you save more. You know, in times of inflation or depression, the solution to help an individual is just to increase their savings.
Okay.
Curtail your expenses. So those things, as you just say, those testimonials, those things you find pleasure, you withdraw them. So that you make savings, make a lot of savings.
Okay.
You curtail your expenditure, reduce them, then you make a lot of savings. Understand?
Okay.
So that's why now I will advise them. Now the exchange, you know, a dollar now to a naira is that 600, right?
Okay.
I'm not talking about black market. So it's high time now for them to at least the little you have there, you bring it down. Once you convert it or exchange it, you have a plenty cash here. So now you look for a project or something to invest. So that when you put a specific project there in Nigeria that will be yield income for you. You understand? So that whenever you don't bring in anything, those you that are over there, when you don't bring anything to your parents from those investments which you made here in Nigeria, those ones can be sustaining them. Okay. Right?
All right.
Can be sustaining them. So that's what I want to contribute.
Okay. So
at this time now, come up.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Understand even that even I would like even to maybe in future I will try to find a way to discuss about the investment, if investing money in Nigeria or something like that. I will try to look into that what you're saying now, so we can discuss about that, because you understand that there are ups and downs about that as well. You understand what I mean? Which there's no time for us to look into that now. But just in just a minute, something I would like you to just tell me. For example, if your family member that is in abroad and just like call you and say to you, "I'm struggling at the moment." You understand?
Yeah.
How would the person just send out the message for you to understand that he is telling you the truth, that he's struggling? Because a lot of people are struggling at the moment over here. Understand? And most of them people over there might not understand that people over here can struggle, because some people over there that believe that once you are here, you are in heaven, and in heaven there's no struggle, there's no suffering in heaven, isn't it? People in heaven don't struggle.
Yeah, that's the mentality of some people. They feel that once you go over to abroad, that it's a platter of gold. That money, you go to a tree and pluck money. It's not like that. It's not like that. What they need to, in any family, understand the matters. Understand? Understand the matters. If it is a beginner that traveled abroad, the family should not even disturb. What they need to give that person a period of time. That person will just go, you will normalize, you know the state, know the people, know the environment, know the everything. Then you, when you now stand, you can be able to send down things. Understand? And families, their mentality, once they have somebody abroad or any diaspora there, what they need to, when that person, they didn't know how that person is struggling to manage and send things, they will live a luxury life, live a flamboyant life, spending money anyhow without thinking of if something happened, would they cope? You understand? So the only thing, the question you ask, understanding, because nobody is plugging money there. You work, and especially those people that you put that press on is those bachelors. But if a family there, you take care of your family, is from the, if I use that word, excess or gain which you may have from your, and send back to them. The mentality we Nigerians have here, we feel that body is there, that everything is good. No, it's not like that. We should change that mentality. As Nigeria is tough, so shall that abroad is tough.
I do.
Are you getting me?
Yeah, I got you.
So the only thing now is understanding the issue. There are some parents that will put pressure. Child, sometimes they will ignore you. Ignoring you does not mean that they did not think of you, but they want to fix things in order.
Yeah.
So I believe the little that time the road is good. Those Nigeria, they should invest, find something and encourage those diaspora. Give him more the money. That person is in need. Your family is in need. You send $1,000 to them or $500, they change it, they use it anyhow. But what that person needs to do, you can ignore them. Acquire a land, build a land here, build a land, build a house here for them. Let them use that rent and be sustaining themselves.
Okay. Like
Understand?
I said, yeah, I understand that. Like I said, we in near future we're going to discuss about that, because
Okay. Let me
many
not go
people,
there. Let
yeah,
me not go there.
many people might like to understand that there are a lot of people as well, they're looking at into something, they will invest in Nigeria or something like that. We will look into
Yeah.
that as well, so understand. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
So
understand. I understand. Go on, just round up in just a minute.
so what I'm saying in a nutshell is that we people down here, we should not put pressure to our diasporas, because that place is not a platter of gold. The hustle, since we know the recession, the inflation is everywhere. Everybody is surviving. There is high. Likewise, so what I do, the little give them, the people in Nigeria, they should make a savings. Savings is more important. You know, when you save, you leave it. When things are tough or when things get out of hand, then from those places you can sustain yourself. I believe with this one,
Okay.
it's positive.
Great comment. I understand. Thank you. Thank
Mm.
you.
You're welcome.
I
You're welcome.
always appreciate your contribution and everything. Understand? So
Yeah,
thank you for that.
you're welcome.
Okay, I will just
Thank you.
I'll round up that. So like what I was saying that when just the only thing I will leave with you is just that just remember that if you lose your job in the West, you lose your job, there's a safety net, and that safety net is called social welfare to fall back on. But if your brother or your sister in Nigeria loses their job, you'll be the one they will call first, because there's no social network or welfare for them to fall back on. On that note, we come to this weekend session. Understand? And if you are with us to this time, I will see you. Thank you. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And I will see you guys next weekend. Till then, remember.